You've seen it all, from avoiding coins, captures, and even walking. But today we're going to take a break from hydration because water is not allowed during this run. Can we beat Super Mario Odyssey without touching water? Let's find out. The very beginning of the game features relatively no water at all until you make it to Top Hat Tower. Once you make it inside, you'll see your very first patch of water. And if I'm being honest, this water looks super tasty. Don't drink it. We must avoid it. Capturing a frog is totally up to you, but I think frog skip is much cooler. Either way, making it up the tower requires very little effort. Once you've made it up, beat Topper and head over to Cascade Kingdom. Cascade doesn't seem too difficult at first, but it gets kinda tricky kinda fast. Go ahead and grab your very first power moon. After that, the rocks will have collapsed, making a bridge over this water. This is where we start to have some problems. If we decide to cross the bridge, we will get wet from the splash of the waterfall. I would agree that this is a cool and immersive detail, but in our scenario, it's rather unfortunate. Now, since we're technically not swimming in the water, I would be willing to let this slide, but luckily there's another way around this. Behold the Dino Skip Skip, a skip that skips the Dino Skip, hence the name Dino Skip Skip. Basically, it's a trick jump that allows us to scale this wall by using a very small piece of geometry right here. Oh, can't see it? Let me zoom in for you. Right here. There's a very small window of time in which we can land on this teeny tiny rectangle and immediately jump off of it, making this trick possible. Once I pulled off this jump, I immediately got this checkpoint in case I accidentally died. There's also a power moon over here, so go and grab that before you make your way up to the brutal fight. After you get the multi-moon, head over to the Odyssey to set sail for the Sand Kingdom. The Sand Kingdom is super easy. It's honestly more of a challenge to find water than it is to avoid it. There's enough moons lying around that you don't even need to go inside the inverted pyramid, and you can head straight over to either the Lake Kingdom or Wooded Kingdom. To keep things interesting, we're gonna tackle the Lake Kingdom first. I'll be completely honest, I was really scared that the challenge was going to end here. I wasn't sure if there were even enough moons above water to keep us afloat. Luckily, the Odyssey only needs 8 moons to advance to the next kingdom, so I began to check in every nook and cranny. There's an easy moon behind the Odyssey, and another one behind this hidden passage. Other than that, I had trouble finding more accessible moons. I also couldn't seem to find a way to get across the lake until I spotted a small platform on this wall. It's quite an easy jump to get to, and from there we can get 3 more moons before we beat Rango. After we collect that multi-moon, it's safe to say that the Lake Kingdom can be completed without touching a single drop of water. Next kingdom on the list is the Wooded Kingdom, which has a very limited amount of water. There's a river that flows into a pond over here, but just don't touch it and you'll be good. If you decide to grab some moons in the deep woods, be careful of the small stream of water that flows through here. As long as you watch your step, the Wooded Kingdom should be a breeze. Our next stop is a quick boss fight with Bowser in the Cloud Kingdom, which thankfully doesn't have any water. Unless you want to be a nerd and be like, actually the clouds are made up of water? But other than that, once we beat Bowser, he immediately sends us to the Lost Kingdom, which doesn't have any water either. After we grab 10 moons to restore the Odyssey, we can fly over to the Metro Kingdom, which... Oh. It's raining. So this is the problem. Metro Kingdom starts off in a rainstorm until you beat the Mecha Wiggler. So naturally, I remembered back to when the Cappy return cancel was first discovered. This was a glitch you could perform in 2-player mode, which allowed Cappy to travel extremely far away from Mario. People would then use this glitch to capture checkpoints in areas you weren't supposed to access yet. This allowed for players to warp into Metro Kingdom early to grab all the required moons and skip the boss fight entirely. This means that there's still a way to beat Metro Kingdom without getting wet, right? Wrong. Despite collecting all the moons early, you still need to visit Metro while it's raining to deposit said moons. It's true that it skips the boss fight, but either way, it's required to visit Metro while it's raining. Now, since I'm stubborn, I'm not gonna let that slide. I was determined to find some kind of loophole that could still make this run valid. So I started thinking. Then I remembered a small detail in Cascade Kingdom. Think all the way back to the rock bridge that we got our first power moon on. Now pay close attention. Mario had water dripping from his clothes if he stood too close to the waterfall, but I'm not seeing any water droplets in Metro Kingdom. Does this mean that the rain in Metro Kingdom isn't actually rain? Is it not programmed to act like water? Maybe it's purely a cosmetic effect since it doesn't affect Mario's moveset or abilities in any way, but neither did the water in Cascade. So, is it all fake? Is this water actually water? Is water wet? Does water even exist? What is water? What is the meaning of life? I think it's safe to say that the rain doesn't count as touching a body of water, such as the Lake Kingdom, and we could probably move forward with this challenge. But that also means we did Dino Skip Skip for no reason. It was cool to pull off though. Next we have Snow Kingdom. Getting down to Shiveria isn't too difficult as long as you either take your time or you know what you're doing. Once we get to the village, go ahead and get all the moons in the 4 main sub-areas. The only sub-area that has water is the third one from the left, which is pretty easy to avoid. There's also 2 or 3 moons hidden in the town, and once you grab them, you'll have enough moons to make it to the Seaside Kingdom. This kingdom presented quite the enjoyable challenge, so I'll quickly walk you through each of the 10 moons required to leave Seaside. The first and easiest moon you can get is in this green pipe right next to the Odyssey. Ground pound the lower right corner to get the moon. Directly to the right of the pipe will be a hidden area inside a wall with water on the floor. You're gonna have to do somewhat of a tricky jump to get up here, but it's not too difficult. If you keep heading to the right, you'll find a rocket that will lead you to a sub-area that contains 2 power moons. Once you've done that, continue heading to the right until you find the shop and buy a power moon there. Just be careful not to clip the edge of the water. Then you're gonna head back towards the Odyssey to explore the other side of the beach. Stack all these Goombas together to impress the Lady Goomba, who gives you a power moon, and puts it right above this small pond. Collect this moon with caution. Keep making your way to the top of Rolling Canyon and collect the moon by the checkpoint. You can also reach Captain Toad from here and he'll give you a power moon. Good job, Captain Toad. Then you're going to want to head over to the left and cap jump up to this ledge where you'll find a seed. Before we plant this, there's a moon back here next to the rolling spikes we need to grab first. After we grab that, we can carry the seed all the way back to where we were before and plant it. And now we wait. You know, it's probably better to plant the seed first and then get all the moons. If you're really impatient, you can actually scrape up just enough purple coins to buy the resort outfit, which will get you a moon by doing a relaxing dance. Either way, we now have enough moons to make it to the next kingdom. Luncheon Kingdom does not have any water, and neither does the Ruined Kingdom. Bowser's Kingdom features a small patch of water over here, but it's not enough to cause any concern. Once we beat the brutal machine thing, we can go to the moon, which doesn't have any water. And the final Bowser fight doesn't have any water either, and neither does this part. So, we just beat Super Mario Odyssey without touching any water, aside from Metro, but that doesn't really count. Let me know what challenge I should try and tackle next. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.